Ex-wife is having a funeral for our daughter's assaulter. I'm beyond pissed off today. My ex-wife is having a funeral for her husband today, a man that sensually assaulted my daughter all of 2022 after having groomed her for the last 2 years. The guy was guilty. My daughter, 14, finally found the strength to confide in a friend who called the cops. CPS and the sheriff's department both did forensic interviews and believed her to be credible. Prior to arrest, the guy unalived himself rather than face judgment. I'm glad he's no longer with us, but wanted to see his face on the news and in court. So to skip over a lot of the aftermath, my ex-wife, who, as a step-forward wife, cares more about appearances that everything is cookie-cutter and normal, is going through with a funeral for the piece of crap. She refuses to acknowledge that anything is wrong and has legitimately told me that I'm making it more than it was. Every part of me wants to show up at the funeral, yell in front of all his clueless friends and family about how he was a child assaulter and kick over the casket. I even looked for groups that could protest outside the thing. I'm just so lost and angry. I recently adopted a cat from an animal shelter and I cry every day because of him. I've had a cat from an animal shelter for almost a month. When I got him he was very thin and refused to eat. His previous owner was not very good to him. He was scared, fur was partially missing and he was extremely emaciated. At first he was very afraid of me, and by the third day he was already lying in my bed, eating regularly. Every day he got closer to me, he relaxed, often cuddled, followed me. He is slowly gaining a healthy weight. Every time I see him eating it makes me cry as I internally compare how he was when he was new and how he is now. It makes me so happy to see him warm up. His coat is almost complete, his scars are treated and become practically invisible. As I type this, he's laying on my stomach, making biscuits, looking happy and healthy. I'm about to cry again. I am so thankful that I have him and that he trusts me, my little black angel. Please treat your pets good. Men of Reddit, what is something you'll never understand about women? How are their feet always so cold? How they get out of the shower and do that weird thing on their head with a towel, then all of a sudden they have this monument on their head. When she asks me what are you thinking and I say nothing, why won't she believe me? How they can magically make things appear in front of them that I've spent 15 minutes looking for. Shower temperature, what the F is up with this Mordor water? Why must you feel pain to feel cleansed? I have a wife and 2 daughters who will bring up issues and problems they encounter. I still have not quite learned that they do not want a discussion about how to solve these problems. How you can talk to your mom on the phone for multiple hours every week. My dad calls me when he needs me to order something on Amazon for him and that's about it. Frenemy behavior. Why do you keep other women around that you actively despise just to complain about them? Why do they need so many pillows? Taking her bra off without taking her top off. It's effing black magic, man. I need a PhD in geometry just to understand it. Pete Davidson.
Today I messed up by going on a date with someone I met in a dark club. A few weeks ago, I met Maxwell out at a club for a birthday party. He was cute, tall, and had a raspy voice and British accent, my weakness, and we spent a good amount of time that night just talking and chilling. We ended up exchanging numbers before my group left. We texted pretty consistently for a few days, and planned a date, archery and drinks. When I arrived at the range and saw Max in the light of day, I knew I had made a mistake. Upside, he was actually even cuter than I remembered. Downside, he was most definitely a she. The tatas were unmistakable in her top, albeit pretty androgynous. After a bit of convo, I confirmed that she definitely identified as a female and a lesbian. I explained that I was straight and thought she was a guy, and she luckily laughed it off. Apparently it's happened before. We still ended up finishing up our date and had a great time. We've hung out multiple times since then. I have since introduced her to a friend who's actually a lesbian, and they really hit it off and have been on a few dates. My friends have been roasting me for weeks, but I gained a friend and my friend gained a potential girlfriend, so really can't complain.
Caught her looking out the window. I stayed the night at my girlfriend's house and had to work today. I realized I left my work clothes in the car, so after I snuck out of bed I had to run out to the car and grab them. I turned the car on to let it heat up and ran back to the house to get changed and wasn't too quiet opening the door. Her room is next to the front door, so I think she woke up and heard me. I open the door to her room and see her sitting by the window looking at my car, and she's surprised to see me. I ask her why she's sitting by the window and she said, "I thought you left without giving me a kiss, so I got up to see you leave." It was so freaking adorable how she talked, and I love her more every day. She got multiple kisses before I left. Today I messed up by shopping for an engagement ring for my girlfriend of 6 years. I've been with my girlfriend, who we'll call Sarah, for a few years now, and things seem to be going great. We were happy together and I thought we had a strong relationship. So I've been thinking about taking it to the next step and decided to go out shopping for engagement rings. I told her I'd be gone for the day and went around town to different jewelry stores. After going to a few stores and getting haggled, I realized that shopping physically, at least in my part of town, wasn't worth it and went home early to try and search online. When I went home I found Sarah in bed with another guy. They were both exposed and it was clear what they were doing. They were also raw dogging it, which Sarah almost never lets me do. For whatever reason, the universe decided to do a big reverse Uno card and made me aware of this today. I couldn't even bring myself to talk to her. I just grabbed my things and left the apartment, vowing never to speak to her again. I'm not sure what to do now. I feel like my whole world has been turned upside down. Anyways, moral of the story is that the universe is a bit of a prick. My girlfriend likes to swim exposed with her friends, including guys. And by skinny dipping I mean fully exposed. So we have been dating for 8 months now and everything's going great, except this one thing. which I found out accidentally. We were talking and she mentioned that she and her friends went for a swim after work, so I asked if she carries her swimsuit around in her bag and she said no, she prefers to swim without any clothes, and it was news for me, shocking I might add. I asked her if there were guys there and she said yes. Well, I was pretty shook but I laughed awkwardly and we talked about other stuff. But I'm not gonna lie, it's really bothering me. On the other hand, I don't even know how to approach it with her as it seems to be a normal thing for her. I've been turning it in my head and there are no easy ways to broach the topic without it going wrong. Some advice please. Update: girlfriend wanted an open relationship so I broke up with her. Now she wants to get back together. After posting and expressing to some people that I had a suspicion she cheated on me, I couldn't get the nagging feeling out of my head. I didn't want to know at first but decided to go digging and ask mutual friends what my ex had been up to that month when she was acting shady. I didn't expect one of her closest friends to spill the beans but she did. My suspicions were correct. She had been cheating on me with a mutual friend's cousin. I decided to message the guy on Facebook. When I messaged him, he wanted to meet in person so I met him at a local pub. When I got there he apologized and explained everything. How he didn't know she was in a relationship and that the day she called me wanting me back is the day he found out and broke it off. I can't fault the guy. He seemed genuine and really apologetic. On the plus side, I drank for free the entire time. He seems like a great guy, especially considering how he broke it off right away once he found out. I won't lie, he's a handsome and great guy and I would let him F me to rub it in my ex's face lol. But at least I have a bit of closure now. I've blocked my ex on everything and I'm gathering her stuff she's left here to mail to her so she doesn't come knocking. It's taking a lot of power not to leave a note in the box along the lines of, "Mark seems nice, too bad you lost him too."
I think my boyfriend is unattractive but I always call him handsome and cute. I've been dating this guy and I honestly really love him. I think he's pretty unattractive and I think I'm pretty unattractive too, to be honest. I don't really care for appearances when it comes to liking people. I guess my aesthetics are kinda weird because I don't think humans are aesthetic in general. Some are better than others I guess. I don't know. Honestly this would be fine but when I met him he was quite shy and had such low self-esteem. I've always tried to give him many compliments and call him cute and handsome. And he is very cute just not handsome. He told me I gave him a lot of confidence and he's really come to terms with his appearance. I tried brainwashing myself but I don't think I'll ever see him as handsome. I don't think I'll ever tell him because I love him to bits and I would hate to make him sad.
Stranger drank my coffee and I may have given him herpes simplex. Ever since I was a kid I got cold sores when I'm going through a period of stress or exhaustion. It is something that I try to prevent and have gotten pretty good at managing the outbreaks but I'm in the middle of one now and once it's started it just has to run its course. Anyway, I work in a business that has been converted from an old early 1900s house. The house is huge and has a ton of different rooms. I drag my Yeti full of iced coffee around with me everywhere I go and, because leaving it exposed to the public freaks me out, I usually stick it in the employee-only spaces. Sunday I was in transit from one area to another and set it down to straighten up some merchandise and completely forgot about it when I walked away. About an hour later I walked into the room for an unrelated reason and saw a group of late teenagers giggling as this kid drank out of the straw in my cup. Apparently it was a dare that may have given him a lifelong struggle with cold sores and herpes simplex and I wouldn't wish it on anyone. The looks on their faces when I asked for my coffee back. I have two shiny red oozy cold sores on the right side of my mouth, one top and bottom. At first I felt like it was karma for drinking out of my cup without me knowing because I definitely would have still finished the coffee but now I just feel like it's 100% my fault. I keep going back and forth, like, it was my responsibility to not leave it out but he was old enough to know better. In the end I'm super disappointed in myself for leaving it on a shelf. I hate cold sores and I sincerely hope he had a strong enough immune system to fight it off. My girlfriend gave my best friend a BJ. My girlfriend, best friend, and I are a trio of some sorts. We're really close and my best friend Toby has been with me since middle school. We're all 20. I've been with my girlfriend for 3 years and never imagined her doing something like this. She was shy. She was uncomfortable with intimate experiences and I was her first. Now she comes to me yesterday bragging about how she gave Toby head. I was effing appalled. She told me she wanted to date both me and Toby at the same time. That we both fulfilled her needs and Toby was okay with it. I never screamed so loud in my life and I think my voice is hoarse. I blocked her and Toby everywhere. Then they started calling my mom trying to explain that my girlfriend and I were in an open relationship. I never saw this coming. We three were very close but I didn't expect her to F him. How could I miss the signs? Caught her looking out the window. I stayed the night at my girlfriend's house and had to work today. I realized I left my work clothes in the car so after I snuck out of bed I had to run out to the car and grab them. I turned the car on to let it heat up and ran back to the house to get changed and wasn't too quiet opening the door. Her room is next to the front door so I think she woke up and heard me. I open the door to her room and see her sitting by the window looking at my car and she's surprised to see me. I ask her why she's sitting by the window and she said, "I thought you left without giving me a kiss so I got up to see you leave." It was so freaking adorable how she talked and I love her more every day. She got multiple kisses before I left.
Previous homeowners stopped by to check on their home. I was just outside, at the end of the driveway, bringing up the trash cans and a car pulled up to me and stopped. It was the couple we bought our home from in May 2022. After a brief conversation, they asked if they could come inside and see what we had done with their home. I politely declined. Husband is out of town. House is a mess. Laundry everywhere. I had just finished working. I have 2 dogs to walk, and I just want to relax and watch some hockey tonight. They seemed miffed and kind of drove off in a huff. My husband texted me a few minutes later asking me why I didn't let them come in. They texted him after I said, No, not tonight, maybe another time when my husband is home. Am I crazy? We don't owe them anything. We bought the house, outright, and paid $15,000 over the asking price, because it's our dream home and location. We even let them store stuff in the third stall of our garage for 3 months after the move because their new build wasn't finished and they ran out of money for storage. I wouldn't mind at all if they would like to come by, at an agreed upon date and time, to tour our home. I'm tired, just wanted to get this off my chest.